Hello everyone, I hope you're all safe and well. My name is Ricky and today we're going to be looking at 4 classic creative activities. Now these activities our children absolutely adore in our nurseries, and some of you mummies, daddies and carers out there may remember them from when you were little. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a colourful collage, we're going to be making an luminous lantern, we're also going to be creating a shimmering stained glass window, and a stunning snowflake. So, without further ado, let's get creating. To begin, the children need to identify the images that they would like to use to create their collage. This is a great way to build a child's confidence, giving that ownership for them to be inspired and to find images that resonate with them. It's also perfect for us as adults to start open-ended questions with the children, i.e., why they've chosen something. It's also perfect to start looking at describing words and talking about similarities and differences. Now the children have selected the images they would like to use for their collage, it's time to cut them out. Now, depending on where the children are in relation to their development will also depend on how much adult support they need. So for example, some children will be at the snipping stage. They will choose an image and they will usually snip along the line, like so. So, adults as the facilitators will support the children to manoeuvre the page around so they can select their image appropriately. Another stage is snip and tear. So the children will see the image they wish, they'll simply snip and pull it off. And that's fine. What we then would do as adults is maybe help them again to manoeuvre the page. You'll then have children that are slightly older that want to do this on their own. So for you as the facilitator, you just need to be there to ask some questions to see if they're okay during the activity. Now they've cut out their items, it's time to start creating. Now this is a great learning experience for lots of different reasons. For example, hand-eye coordination, as well as some science. So we have our glue stick. We put some glue here, but we can't really see the glue. So if we have an image and we place it where the glue isn't sitting, it falls down. But if we put it where the glue is, it sticks. It's also a great problem-solving game. So for children that may not want their images to overlap or go off at the end of the page, it's a really good way to talk about sizing. So for example, if we have an image here, and we'll put it here, we need to look to see what image could fit maybe here. So for example, this one is too large. It goes over the paper, or it would overlap the other image. But this one will fit perfectly. So it's really good for the children to start to play around with that. Now, it's all about the process and not about the end product. However, our children will love to show all of their friends their collage. So also, it's a great way to support the children's confidence to be able to show others and to celebrate, but also to welcome praise. To create your lantern, you will need the following: a glue stick, a pencil, a ruler, some scissors, and some paper. Now, I'm using plain paper today. However, you could use a coloured paper. You could also get the children to design something on their paper before creating their lantern. To make it a little bit more sturdy, you could also use some card. So, without further ado, let's get lantern making. To begin, we need to create the body and the handle for our lantern. Now how we do this is we simply line up the ruler to the end of the page and just draw a line going all the way down. Now this is a great activity to engage the muscles in the hands, the arms and the wrists, which will help children when it comes to early writing. Once we've done that, we need to cut the two out, like so. Now we don't need that to the very end, so I'll put that to one side. So now that we have the body of our lantern, it's time to fold it in half. This is a great way to start talking about positional language with children. So for example, if we put the paper here, the lantern won't work. Same if we do it this way. But it also wouldn't work if we don't fold it in half. So by putting the ends to each other, we've created a half, like so. To create the lantern effect, we can achieve this in two different ways, depending on the age and stage of children. So, example 1 is with our folded piece of paper, we bring our ruler to the end of the fold and we simply draw a line down the ruler, like so. This gives the children a guide of where to cut up to. It doesn't have to be straight because it's their work. For children that are a little bit older that we'd like to extend, we would do the same process, but this time, using the numbers on the ruler, we'd use them as a guide, like so. So the children know they have to cut to reach the dots. This is a great learning experience for the children to be able to manoeuvre their hands to be able to achieve it. Now the children have cut down the line, it will look like this. So that's the body of our lantern complete. So now what we need to do is put it all together. So by unfolding our lantern, like so, we need to very carefully and very gently place some glue down one end. And then what we have to do is align the two ends together. Like that. But what's it missing? I know, the handle from earlier. So what the children need to do is to glue one end, stick that on, like so, and very carefully and very gently put some glue on the other end and reach over to place it here. And that is the lantern complete. To create a stained glass window, you will need some glue, a pair of scissors, some masking tape, or alternatively, if you've got any sellotape, that's absolutely fine, a sandwich bag, and I'm going to be using some crepe paper. Now, if you don't have any crepe paper, you might have some tissue paper or any type of translucent material. So any kind of food wrappings that you may have at home that have a slight pigment in it will work absolutely fine. So, let's get creating. To begin, we need to cut out our glass. Now to do this, I'm going to be using a sandwich bag. Now you can use cling film, but I find the sandwich bags a little bit more durable, so they're a bit easier for the children to handle. This is also recyclable, as I'm only going to be using one part of it. So the part with the writing and the zip will be recycled. So we're going to cut it out so it looks like this. Now that we've cut out our window, we need to create a frame. So how we do that is we use the masking tape. Alternatively, like I said, you could use sellotape. I just find masking tape a little bit easier. We're going to cut off a length and place it on the end line of our window. We're then going to peel it off and it will all be stuck together, turn it round and repeat on the other lines. So you'll end up with this. Now that our window has its frame, it's time to start creating the stained glass aspect. Placing it down with the sticky side up, we're going to use our lovely colourful crepe paper and start sticking it all over the window. It is a great way to start introducing some new language to the children, such as translucent, transparent, opaque. Once complete, it will look like this. Now, the next stage is the hardest, deciding which window it goes to. So picking it up, making sure that the sticky side goes onto the glass, find your window and watch the light come through. With this activity, a great way to extend it is by using plain paper and a pencil and watching where the light hits through the stained glass window. Children can draw around their shadows that they can see from using this. Finally, we're going to be creating the classic snowflake. For this, we need a pair of scissors, a pencil, something that's round, I'm going to be using an old CD, and some paper. Let's go! To begin, we want to create our paper circle. So to do this, I have my piece of paper and my CD, and I'm simply going to draw all the way around it. And then I'm going to use my scissors to cut it out so I have a perfect circle. Now that we've cut our circle, we're going to want to fold it. Now you can fold it as many times as you like, but what a great way to start introducing some mathematical concepts. So whole, half, quarter, until we have one like this. Now that we've folded our circular paper multiple times, we've created a cone or a triangle. Now what we need to do next is allow the children to get nice and creative, cutting around the whole snowflake, making little snips or cutouts so they create one like this. And the exciting part is when we get to unfold it again and see our design. Like so. Thank you for watching today, and I hope you had fun with those classic creative activities. We would love to see some of your examples, and I'll be putting some details of how to share those in the description. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If not, as always, thumbs up and subscribe. Bye.